right. Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing tea people. It is now officially just about summertime. Time to get started for this live stream with the Chilai mountain stuff. I don't know. Anyways, maybe I should just like cut off this part and just get the sort of the goatee thing going. But anyways, whatever. It's hot. And so it's getting there. So what I've done to make sure that it doesn't break and everything bad happen, like that time that happened before, what I've done, I took off my fancy thing that saved my phone a bunch of times. I took that off. Hey, Mr. Gnome, how's it going? And I've also got this, so in case I get super sweaty, I just, I can go like that. And so hopefully it's going to be okay. It won't crap out like last time. Now here you go. You've got Chilai Shan. Now, what is this place? This place is the place where, of course, the Chilai Black is from. Now, if anybody out there has had the Chilai Black, then you know exactly the sweet, gorgeous, orangey, soft fruit flavor that comes with those types of teas. Teas from that area. This tea has got the same sort of thing, very, very similar to it, right? Just about exactly the same, except, of course, that it is greenish or sort of unripe. And when you're looking at these types of things, it's if you're a tea nerd, it's fascinating, right? It's for me, anyways, it's absolutely fascinating that when you get this tea as sort of the greenish oolong, the same flavors are there, but when you get the one from the summertime where they turn it into like a beautiful black tea, those same flavors, the exact same flavors, basically ripen. So the same flavors ripen out and get that red fruit, orangey fruit, sort of whatever that flavor is that you would get from this same tea. What you would get from the same tea when it's turned into a black tea. Right. So that's basically what we're looking at today. And I had this the other day, a funny story, right? So like in my life, I eat pretty clean, right? I try and practice what I preach to my ever suffering children. So yesterday or this weekend, my kids were gone for a week and to go see their parents up or their grandparents up in Taipei. And so my wife and we actually bought a little bit of garbage food. Right, I bought like a bag of like potato wedges, and I was drinking this tea in the morning, and I was like, oh, it's so good. And then I ate a couple of these damn potato wedges, and then my entire mouth just exploded, and like it was awful. The MSG in those damn things destroyed my taste buds, like literally destroyed my taste buds. And this was like, sunflower oil, potato wedges, like these things were expensive, but it had MSG. And so the MSG literally got in my mouth, coated my tongue so that I couldn't taste this tea yesterday. And it was pretty dramatic, dramatic. What is that tea seal and bar? Oh, this, right? This for sure. This tea helps lose weight too, and the taste's so good. I'm waiting for my orders. I'm so excited. Well, thank you very much for the order. The losing weight thing, I try and stay away from that, but lots of people, everybody's different. Lots of people have different, results for that type of stuff. But I would certainly never, I would never claim that I have skinny tea. But I'm sure it works for some people, else they wouldn't be able to sell it. Yes, the potato wedges, and they were in a bag, right? Disgusting. Anyways, here we go. Check this out. This is the tea bar, and it is a tea bar. And I've never sold these. The only reason I have this is because every once in a while, for some reason, maybe a tea farmer will send me something like this in the mail. And it's not very useful unless you are doing tea samples and you want to keep them in order. Right? So if you're doing tea samples and you want to keep them in order, then this tea bar, you can see it's just sort of the same. Somebody asked me the other day, I got to get those back in the shop. I'm ordering a bunch of stuff today, like boxes and bags. So I'll order some in. But there you go. So that's how it works. I don't know if you must have seen this. Again, I'm just waiting for this to express itself. And the way it works is you put the thing on there like that, and then you put the T-bar in if you haven't seen it before, and you sort of go across like that. Oh, you got to be careful to go the right way. And it is not particularly good. Like, this is not airtight, right? You don't want to be storing your tea long term like this. But if you eat the same tea all the time, this works pretty well. Right? It works pretty well. And I used to sell until I ran out the little ones, the smaller ones like that. So I got to get more. But this bad boy, this is if you're a hardcore tea sampler, but that's why I use it like 3 or 4 times a year when the samples come in. Now, what are we looking at for the Chi Shan area? I'm hoping I can go up to Chi Shan maybe in the summertime. Chi Shan is an amazing spot because Chi Shan is completely overlooked. It's completely overlooked, right? Completely overlooked. And it's an area where you've got sort of up on the mountain over here. I should go in. I didn't prep for it, but anyways, I should go in and show you. Maybe I'll do that at another live this week. You go up into the mountains. The Pear Mountain area is over here, and then there's a big, huge sort of valley, and then there's the Hoan Shan area, another sort of mountain range like this, and then down the valley up again. This is the Chi Shan area, and it's unique in the sense that it's actually western facing, where a lot of the other places are eastern facing or south or north facing. But this basically this whole spot is on the east side of the mountain, so it's facing west. And the terroir, the weather, the soil is just different enough that it brings out this extraordinarily unique, tart, yellow, soft fruit, apricot, sort of peachy type of thing with a stronger vegetal. So the vegetal is often stronger and sharper, and then the aftertaste is this beautiful, soft orange fruit, right? Soft orange fruit. And I tend to use those black binder clips after folding the bags. And if you drink a lot of tea, that is good enough, 100% good enough. But with both of those options, you don't want to do it too long. Now, what this is 3 different days of picks. There is the 10th, the 9th, and the 7th. The 10th, the 9th, and the 7th. And these guys are awesome. Like I said, this is the Chi Black place. And about a month ago, I basically bought all they had left of the Chi Black. So the Chi Black is not going to run out anytime soon, which I know will make a few people extremely happy. But so that won't be sold out anytime soon, because I ran out, and then I was like, "You got any left?" And I bought it all. I bought all they had left. And if I don't sell it all by the time the new stuff comes in, sort of in the fall, this year in the fall, then I'm just going to put it up and age that stuff. Oh, it is going to be so good if I age it. Anyways, here we go. Let's get to this tea now. What am I looking for? I'm looking for wow. I'm looking for all those things. And I had it yesterday. Like I said, I had it the first time. I was like, what is this? And then I ate MSG, for lack of a better way of describing it. And and then I couldn't taste a damn thing. So I haven't had any tea today. So I'm hoping my taste buds have come back from the horrible junk food. I'm going back to Canada this summer for a month, and I've got to write a long email to my parents just to describe how absolutely insane our family is, so that we don't get sick by eating bad food. Like, we can smell Tim Hortons, but I don't know whether we can eat it. Does 1 or 2 days separation in picking make that big of a difference? James, that is an awesome question. And it totally depends on 2 things. One, if you are poutine, yes, I'll get some poutine, right? I'll get some poutine for sure. Depends on 2 things. One, if you're drinking them side by side, right? So if you're drinking them like this. And I've already decided, I think I'm going to ask him and say, can you just give me like, a couple kilograms of this, and the one I choose, I'm going to get a bunch of. But let me say, can you just give me like 1.5 or 2 kilograms of the other ones, please, like, because I want to give you guys this same opportunity. I want to give you guys the same opportunity because it's such a valid question. It's such a beautiful question, right? Does each day matter that much? Does it matter? Does it really matter that much? And the truth is, absolutely. When you're drinking them side by side and you're a hardcore tea drinker who's had a lot of these types of teas. And so I drink that. Okay. I think that's the one. So one of them, let's see what the aftertaste does. Yeah, I think this is the one. Anyways, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, thankfully, my taste buds have reanimated themselves. They're back from the dead, from eating MSG. What's it? Sweet chili MSG laden potato wedges that were wildly expensive because they're like, oh, it's healthy. Yeah, if it comes in a bag and doesn't go bad, it's not healthy. Anyways. So, I'm so glad I can taste these again because they're beautiful. They're beautiful teas, and they're a wonderful expression of this terroir. Now, the tea in the past I've gotten from this area, I've gotten from a relatively big company. Like, it's a big old company. And this big old company, I'm pretty low on the totem pole. So I still get tea that's okay. It's okay. But it's not the tea that I'm used to. It's not the tea. It's sort of like they have the big fish that come, and then they buy the big fish by days, hundreds of kilograms. And then whatever's left, they batch together, and then they sell to everybody else. And so I've usually been buying that. That's why I don't get a lot of it. This is different. Oh, the aftertaste on this one is gorgeous. Beautiful. And this is different. This is a different garden from the same area. And I met them at the tea show, and I've been building this relationship with them. And it's just like a small family. It's like a small amount of people. Are these 3 different harvested days? High Mountain, Chi Lai Shan, Oolongs. Yes. Yeah, they're all Chi Lai Shans. Yep. And so like when I buy it from the other spot, I don't actually get the days. Like I said, I just get them batched. Here I get the actual days. So this is like I'm building a relationship in the same way that I build a relationship with my buddy up on Pear Mountain. And I bought so much of their Chi Lai Shai black tea. Like I sent them so much money, and happy to send them so much money that they're like, they're happy to send them here. And I'll get into what makes these teas different and why this is a perfect example of the different days and why I want to share it with you. Because one of these days had bad weather, and I'm going to tell you how you can tell. But the follow-up question, what influenced the differences days? Would the earliest or latest be better? Would a middle day picking ever be better? Well, here we go. And that is exactly the questions when I first started getting into tea, when I was visiting these places, when I was going to do all those things. That is exactly the questions that I would ask. And thank you for the question, because I'm just about to get into that exact thing, And the answer is, of course, absolutely. And every time when it comes to tea, high quality tea, it depends. It depends. And the way it works is the most important thing is, of course, the garden, the cleanliness of the garden, the cleanliness of the tea leaves, the environment. Okay. We've got that. This is a beautiful garden. This is not organic, but they test like nothing, no agrochemicals. Like it's a clean garden. Then the second most important thing is the tea master. And again, I know the tea master, great. Then we're getting into the crazy stuff that you can't control. Most importantly, the weather. Now, this is the 7th. This is the 7th. And the 7th has a sharp vegetal on the up front. The mid-mouth going into the back end is fuzzy, thick. It catches. In Chinese, you say ka ka. It catches. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant. There is a catch to it. There's a dryness to it. And then the aftertaste is gorgeous. So what you got up front, a really sharp vegetal, not soft, a sharp vegetal. Mid-mouth, not very pleasant, right? Not horrible, but not, you can taste the difference. And then in the back end, you've got a beautiful aftertaste. So what is that telling you, right? What's that telling you? It's a beautiful garden. It's a good tea master. But what that catch is bad weather. That's a rainy day. That's a rainy day. So most of these gardens, like especially in the higher mountains, they're huge. Like they're really, really big. And they get groups of people to go up, maybe 10 to 15 at a time, because you can't make all that much tea. You just make whatever the tea your thing is. So they come through and they pick. And then if it's a rainy day, or if it rains halfway through the day, or this actually happened once, I won't tell you which garden it is, but one of the younger guys left out a bunch of tea and it got dew on it. So when you bring it in, you leave it up and you let it wilt in the sun, but they left it out and it dewed. So it got covered in perfect weather that day, but that one last batch of tea to come in got covered in rain. And they still made tea with that rainy, that wet tea. And that tea, even though only one batch of it did have that wetness, like that in the background, which was really disappointing, right? Because I actually bought that tea because I was there for that day. And then I had to drive all the way back and be like, I'm sorry. And they're like, yeah, we wanted to tell you, but it was a new relationship. And so I drove all the way back and I'm like, I got to change this tea. And they're like, yeah, I know. Yeah, let's change it. And then, and then they're like, somebody already bought like the rest that you didn't want. I don't know why, sort of a thing. So people know it, right? But that's what's going on with this tea. Another thing you might be able to tell why it was bad weather. Well, this is the 7th. This is the 9th. So we're missing a day. And so probably what happened was they started picking on the 7th. There was bad weather, maybe 2 days, bad weather. The next day, good weather. The next day, good weather, all being equal, exact same people, exact same spot, exact same tea masters. But in this tea, I can taste it. I can taste it. I can taste the bad weather. All right. These two teas, they were good weather. Right. Like again, I'm it's like, it's like I tell my kids, don't eat junk food. And then I'm like, they're not around. So I'm like, oh, I can eat junk food. And then I have to pay 10 times for it. So I'm so glad my taste buds came back, so glad. And this tea, light, bright, soft vegetal, mid-mouth is smooth. And then the aftertaste goes through and you drink the aftertaste. As the aftertaste comes out, it's just beautiful. Right? It's like, some weird mix of apricot and pear and yellow plum, right in the back here. And it comes out and it's beautiful. Like this is some of the best tea of the year so far. This is some of the best tea of the year so far. They did an amazing job, an absolutely amazing job. This is beautiful tea. So, but just to give you another example of this situation, sometimes, and I'm getting a little hot here. Sometimes, like I feel actually really bad. Somebody was asking me about the organic Alishan, and I love buying tea from that area. And they sent me a sample, but they only had one day, and it was a rainy day. And it's a person that I absolutely respect. I love their tea. I want to buy their tea. But if they only send me one day and it was a rainy day, that's really, really tough because that tea is not to the standards of what I want to offer people. And that tea is not cheap. It's not a cheap tea. but he got unlucky that day and he picked, and it was a rainy day, and I could taste the rainy day, and so I couldn't get it. But I gotta get over to Ali Shan. It's just too much. Just too much, because I was drinking his tea. It was like, Ali Shan, oh, I love it. Oh no. It was bad. It was bad weather that day. So James, I hope that answers your question. And this one is, the upfront is not so bright vegetal. The aftertaste is soft. I'm going with this one. This is the one. These two are similar. This one is just a better version of that. Right? So this one is just a better version of that. Okay, perfect. And again, if anybody else has any questions about this stuff, throw it in the chat, because that's what I love doing. All right. I love talking about it, which is strange, right? Which is kind of weird. And this one has the aftertaste comes in after a long time. So this is about 3-4 seconds. This is like 6-7 seconds. The aftertaste is really beautiful, really sweet. But I like this one better because the upfront is nicer. And so this one is the 7th. This is the 9th. This is the 10th. And so probably my guess is what happened. The 7th started off as an okay day. The rain came through in the afternoon, rained the next day. And then the leaves were still a little bit wet on the 9th. And then by the 10th, everything was dried off. And then it was just that beautiful spring, like when they make those teas. But yeah, I'm definitely going to ask. I'm definitely going to be like, oh, gorgeous, beautiful tea. Now, this is the Chi Lai Shan tea. Now, what's so unique and interesting about this one as well is this is machine picked. So this is machine picked. So this is a high mountain oolong that's machine picked, and at this level of quality, it's amazing. It really is. It's quite dramatic and quite amazing from my perspective. And that's great for us all because it's cheaper. It's cheaper because it's machine picked. It's cheaper. Now, machine picked versus a hand picked, right? The best teas in the world, small batch, hand picked. Anyways, I hope you guys, that's not too loud. There's somebody using a saw over there. Hand picked, organic, small batch, family run farm. Always. Best teas in the world. Always have those 4 things, and a tea master, right? That goes without saying. But if you have a small batch, hand-picked, organic, small family farm tea, doesn't mean it's good, right? It's just those are necessary preconditions for the best tea in the world, but they are not sufficient for having good tea. And so when you get something like this, you get a garden that's actually able to really, really well do a high quality tea that's machine picked. Bonus for everybody. They're happy. I'll buy a bunch of it. Everybody can get it at a cheaper price. Although, there's that thing where, the catch on that is fascinating. Like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy all 3 days. And then for this month's subscription box, I will put in these 3 teas, and everybody out there can try it. So I'm going to do a blind tasting of the 7th, the 9th, and the 10th for the subscription box. And everybody out there can try it, for the subscription. And then after I send out the subscription, I'll wait 2 weeks, and then I'll offer it up to everybody who's not on the subscription as well. So had a Nepalese black tea that tastes a lot like Sun Moon Lake, but it had some smooth minerality. Would they have grown the same plants as the ones in Sun Moon Lake? Hey, awesome question, Spot Dogs. And I'll temper my response by I'm not in any stretch an expert on Nepalese teas. I've had a couple in my life. I know how it works, and I know what the Nepalese sort of industry, I've read lots of things about it. but I've only had a couple Nepalese teas. What I would say is uh, Sun Moon Lake is not a cultivar. So Sun Moon Lake is not a type of tea. It's an area, right? So your question is, it tastes a lot like Sun Moon Lake, but it had smooth minerality, right? So most of the things that are planted in Sun Moon Lake are from the Asamoka, the things that leave the island anyways, are from the Asamoka side of things. So you either have the number 8 Asamoka, you have Ruby 18, and they would be Asamoka teas. And the Asamoka teas are Indian teas. Now, I'm not going to wade too far into the tea genetics argument. I'm not going to walk too far into there and be like, well, this is the way it was, and this is the teas that are grown there have the Lipton tea flavor, right? The Lipton tea flavor, and the Lipton tea flavor, and everybody knows what that is. It comes from the Asamoka plant, and so, like for example, the tea that I have on the site right now, the number 8 Asamoka, it's from Burma, no, it's from. Oh, I forget. Anyways, it's from sort of the, I don't want to offend anybody, south of China area, right? I don't know what the right way of calling that area is. And anyways, it's in from that area and that subcontinent. And so what you're looking at that Indian flavor type of cultivars. So things that are going to be grown in Nepal are going to have that as their root, as their core. Now, there's a bunch of different hybrids and different teas that they grow there, but I highly, 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 highly doubt that they're growing Ruby 18. There are, I'm sure, some people growing Ruby 18 there, but they're not growing Ruby 18 to the level that they would be able to send it out, that they would be able to export it. So if it tastes like the Sun Moon Lake, if you give me more details about the Sun Moon Lake tea that you had, that might help a little bit. But there will be absolutely some very similar flavor characteristics, sort of the big mouth up front, the sort of the strength, the muscle, and sort of in the back end as well. The machines that do the picking are some larger and some smaller. And does the size of the machine change the flavor of the tea? Wow, that's a big question. How to divide the machines? Pretty easy. Flat, high. So the flat area, there are these Japanese machines that you can actually ride, and they're very, very big. And they go through, and like one person can do an entire garden. The ones in the higher elevations are the ones that have, because it's not flat, the gardens are like this with rows that go across like this. There's 2 people that hold them, and they have like outboard motors, and then they cut through, and they still got the bags, and usually it's a 3-person operation. So 1 person on each side, and then there will be the person on the back that has the sort of the bag, and they'll make sure that the stuff's going in the bag. You do it with 2 people, but it's usually a 3-person operation. And then they go through, and then they cut it, and that's hard work. But 2 people on either side of the bushes, right? Going through like that. So your question is, does the size of the machine change the flavor of the tea? I would say yes and no, but mostly yes. And that would be because if you're looking at that small 2-person machine, if you are skilled, like the 2 people are really, really skilled, you can actually go through and move the thing like this and go up and down, right, with your hands, and actually, like if there's a bush or a little hill or like a rock or something where it sort of goes like this, right? You can actually go and move with it and sort of go like this if the people are really, really skilled. And so you can have much more of a constant pick as you go through. With the flat teas and those areas, it's much harder to do because you can't, it's just shaped like this. And basically what you're trying to do in the lower elevations is make the tea plant so strong that you just come through once every couple of weeks and chop off the top little bit that grows up and make sure it's like this the whole time, right? So I would say the size of the machine does matter, but it wouldn't really, the most important thing would be the elevation of the tea gardens. So if you got a high mountain, you got a higher elevation, then it's just going to taste different than the lower elevation, right? I had a Nepalese, Taiwanese Jintren, and Japanese, I'm not going to try and pronounce that one, hybrid as a white tea. Pretty interesting, quite aromatic, a little Darjeeling Oriental beauty aspect to it. Exactly, right? And that's awesome, right? That's the stuff I love, right? That's the stuff I love, that people are experimenting with that type of stuff, because it gets boring, right? It really does get boring if you're just there and you just make it one type of tea and blah blah blah. It gets really boring. It gets really boring. Um, and I love seeing things like that, because I'd love to, like, take a bunch of Taiwanese cultivars and see what happens in Nepal. I think it would be so much fun, right? What does the Nepalese terroir do to it? Like and whose hands does it pass through, and how do they do things? All of that stuff impacts the taste of the teas. Uh, uh, I have a tea factory, but it's not true. What's not true? Um, I ran Tea Masters Cup. What's not true? I feel like you know a lot about tea. I know a lot about Taiwanese tea. I know a lot about Taiwanese tea, right? And I don't know basically anything about Nepalese tea. I don't basically know anything about other places' teas, other than what I could project from my Taiwanese knowledge onto those other places, right? And but just to again, with the machine question, the most important thing is the elevation when it comes to the taste of the teas, for sure. But both of the sort of the machine and the different sizes of machine, uh, they definitely impact the taste of the tea, for sure. But only because of that. And I'm actually really looking forward. I think this year, the honey fragrance black teas, we might be able to get like a really, 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 really good batch of really, really good batch of really, really cheap honey fragrance black tea this year, right? Like awesome level honey fragrance black tea, but cut with the machine that rolls, and oh, it's just going to be. I can't wait for that. Just to be able to have that for everybody. Nepal tea, in my experience, is so Spot Dogs. The rest of your thing didn't send, but I'm waiting with bated breath. I really would like to know, because I'm sure sort of Nepalese tea, I'm sure is, I'm sure it's, well, like tea everywhere, but I'm sure there's like some interesting small people doing small things. But my guess is in Nepal, it'd be really, 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 really hard to get a consistent production every year, because my guess is in Nepal, there's not the same level of both sort of historical and just sort of infrastructure in Nepal as there is in Taiwan. Like the factories here are, like tea making machines come from Taiwan. Nepalese teas, in my experience, often have a mineral, which makes sense given the Himalayas. Absolutely. So, for example, for the teas that I have, one of the teas that has the most minerality, because Taiwanese teas are not known for minerality, not at all, is the tea from Nanhu Dashan. And this year, that tea is beautiful. It's got a beautiful floral to it. And that'll be in this week, hopefully. Hopefully these will be in this week too. I'm hoping on Sunday that I can release all these teas. And the minerality comes from the soil. And the Nanhu Dasan, the Nanhu tea, is absolutely unique because it is granite. In Taiwan, there's not a lot of granite. There's sedimentary, there's metamorphic, but it's mostly sedimentary, and it is the metamorphic is the limestone turning into marble. So you're not getting sort of the igneous. Wow, that's awesome. I think I remembered all the right words, all the right terms. But the igneous rock, which is the volcanic rock, which is the granite, it's very, very rare to find the granite in Taiwan. And so because the granite is so rare, The because the granite is so rare, you don't get that same thing. Whereas places like Wuishan in China, uh, don't quote me on it, but I think it's mostly granite, isn't it? Does somebody know? Somebody knows more about that. Um, it's mostly granite. And in Nepal, my guess is there would be a wild mix of rocks, like just wild. And every valley would be different, and further up the valley and lower down. So there would be more of that. Those are old mountains, right? Taiwan mountains are really, really young. A fascinating anecdote that just blows my mind. So we had this huge earthquake a couple months ago now, I guess, a month and a half ago. Huge earthquake. And my son goes to a school that has like a fish pond, or used to have a fish pond. Because what happened was the earthquake raised the earth by a meter. A meter. A meter. And so now the underground river that was feeding it goes underneath it. And so now the fish pond is lost all its water. It used to be about a meter deep. It used to be about a meter deep. Now it's raised a meter, and now the fish pond has no water and it's drying out. In fact, tomorrow we're going to go and try and save all the fish. And the ocean was it was like a steep drop off, but it raised a meter. So now at low tide, you can walk out and pick up sea cucumbers. You can never pick up sea cucumbers. You never see sea cucumbers on this beach, and now there's sea cucumbers. Like that, they were there before, but you just couldn't see them. And so it's insanely powerful. It blows my mind. Right, where I grew up is nothing like that. Nothing like that. I previously ordered some of the summer Chilai Black and was fantastic. If this is the same area, I imagine the Oolong is tasty too. I would say that it is tasty, yes. And like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the, this is the day that I'm going to get. I'm going to get a bunch of it, but I'm also going to get a kilogram or two of these two right here. And when I get the kilogram of these two right here, we can all try them out together and see if you can be a tea sorcerer, or see if you agree, or say, oh, listen, I didn't, that sort of a little bit uncomfortable mouthfeel I thought was fine because the aftertaste was better than the other ones, because the aftertaste is actually kind of better than the other ones. But I'm melting. So are there any tea plants that tolerate clay soil? I'm in western North Carolina in the mountains, and a lot of the valley soil is clay heavy. I would say clay. Okay. Clay, there's lots of different kinds of clay. And although I do grow vegetables, I would not call myself a botanist. So please take my answer with a grain of salt, right? But what you're looking at when you're looking at tea plants, you want slightly acidic soil. So you want slightly acidic soil, and you want fertile soil, and clay is perfect. Thick, slightly acidic, clay-like soil, right? Clay-like soil. So that's what you're looking at when you're looking at where you want to plant your teas. And so why it works so well in Taiwan is because the mountains are limestone marble and shale, right? So sedimentary mud, basically, right? So just mud that's been pressed. And then what happens is, with all of the earthquakes and typhoons and floods and landslides, they mix together. And as they come down the mountains, they mix together, then they hit the plains, and then it's amazingly fertile and perfect for tea. Now, as you move up the mountains, less and less so. But there's mostly the place where they planted is shale. So it's sort of thick, rocky, muddy. But things like, for example, the Shanlinshi area is super thick clay. Like you put your hand and you pick up a rock and you're just like, like it's insane. It's so beautiful. But it's great for tea and certain types of teas and that flavor profile, but other than like bamboo, there's not a lot that grows there. Like it's not the best soils. So the answer to that question, of course, is that's what I know about it, and you would have to think about it yourself. But I do know that there is, I think it's North Carolina actually. There is tea grown in, I think it's one of the Carolinas. Anyways, there's tea grown in the United States. And if you look up for domestic tea, I forget the name, the Great American Tea Company or something like that. There is tea grown in the U.S. And so that would help a lot. They would be a perfect resource for that, right? That would be a perfect resource for that. But the point is, it has to be fertile, sort of thick, and slightly acidic. So that's where the limestone comes in. So if there's limestone and shale, then you're good to go. Okay, I think Pingkunto has some pretty loamy soil where the original duck shit Dankong Oolong is from. Okay, well there you go. There we go. Perfect, right? And see, the sort of the duck. I don't want to say bad words on. Anyways, the duck digested food oolong is a unique one because it's got lots of flavor. Right? It's got lots of flavor. It's like, it's something special. And so that would make sense that it's pretty, maybe more, it's a unique flavor compared to a lot of the other places, right? It's a unique flavor compared to the all the other. But you know what? I don't even know. I think I've had it once in my life. So if anybody has any other questions, ask Cam because he knows way more about the duck poop oolong than me. I know basically know nothing about it. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop talking. Like I said, I'm a I'm a Taiwanese tea academic. I know more and more about less and less. So if you have questions about if you have questions about if you have questions about duck poop oolong, Cam's your man. How different is the taste of Phoenix Valley Spring versus winter? You'd have to test it out. I will say this: the wintertime tea is a little past its prime. I don't have very much of it left, and I probably this week will put it on sale. With those teas, I try and sell them out before the next season comes because they're greener. And so I tried it the other day. Actually, I had the same question, and it wasn't quite. Well, obviously, wintertime teas, there's more floral, there's more of a sharper vegetal. It's less soft, less round. And the aftertaste is oftentimes greener and sort of longer lasting. Springtime tea is rounder. It's got the sweetness and the softer vegetals. Basically, this tea right here is the perfect example of a springtime beautiful tea. And but that one, it's basically it's kind of past its prime. And so I will be putting it on sale. Maybe I'll do it today. I'll count how much I have left and just put it all up for sale. But you can try them together. You can try them together and see how it goes. But is there a big difference? If you drink them side by side, there is, right? So if you drink them side by side, absolutely, there's a big difference. If you don't, then it's kind of tough. They chop their tea, unfortunately, but it doesn't taste bad. Oddly smooth. Oh, I missed. I think I missed one there. There's a tea plantation in South Carolina. Yeah. Been there once. Charleston Tea Plantation. They chop their tea, unfortunately, but it doesn't taste bad. Oddly smooth. Well, in North America, if you're not drinking tea picked by slave labor in tea bags from a large multinational murderous corporation, it's going to taste way better than what people are used to, right? And but it's not going to taste as good as a place that has multi-generations of family making the tea, and that's built into the culture, like Taiwan or China or Japan, all those places. But that's basically what I've heard about a lot of the sort of the North American tea, that it's decent, it's pretty good. But it's hard to compare to the places that have been making it for thousands of years. Well, versions of tea for 1,000 years. Do you think that you'll put together another various mountain oolong comparison set again? Absolutely, I will. Absolutely, I will. Absolutely. So I'm just waiting on basically the Alishan. So I've got the Pear Mountain, I've got the Nanhu, I've got Pear Mountain, Nanhu. Depending on how much left, I might throw in a little bit of the Lalashan as well. I can't remember all the mountains from last time. Oh, Jade. I'm waiting on the Jade samples. So Jade Mountain samples, I'm waiting for them to come in as well. But yes, I will have that for sure. I don't know whether it'll be 5 or 6 or 7 mountains. It'll depend on the on just the general harvest. But right this year, Alishan is my. I got to get good Alishan teas. But yes, I will be doing that. And this is, a perfect example of. And then as you go through the steeps, it's just that beautiful fruit flavor that pops out. And, for a machine pick tea, it is amazing. Really, they do such a good job with it. And, but like I said, hopefully I'll get this set together so you can try them out. Yes. Hello again. I hope everything goes smoothly in Iran the next couple of days. Really, really hope everything goes smoothly. Any other questions before I sign off and pack up the tea that you amazing, spectacular, wonderful people have bought and send out all of the orders? I think my cutoff is going to be for putting in a cheeky little piece of jade into your package. I think the cutoff will be like $200. I think that's what it's going to be, or $200, or like a cumulative $1,000. I don't know. I'll think of something, but there's definitely a couple orders that I'm packing up right now where there's going to be a cheeky little piece of jade that's going to be slipped in the order to say thank you for supporting Mountain Stream Teas and my family as much as you have. Thank you for the very best tea. Well, thank you for the support. I hope it's the best tea. I've thought about doing something like, how those places, they're like, like if you can find a similar product for this, I've thought about doing that and being like, I offer the best tea for the cheapest price. No one can beat me. Like, have at it. Let's do blind taste tests. But it's always so wonderful just to know that people are enjoying the teas that I'm finding. I'm not in Iran right now. I'm in Canada, but I hear good news about the president. Okay, well, I hope, like I said, I hope everything for the next little while is smooth. I just hope it's smooth. Is Baozong overrated in your opinion? Oh, come on. I'm winding down. You want me to go on a rant? Do you want me to go on a rant? In general, the Baozong that you're probably going to sample, yes. The Baozong that I get, no. Old Master Baozong, Green Light Baozong, the organic stuff that's like they only make it in small batches and it's good, like the Monk's Baozong, stuff like that. No, that's not overrated. But there is a lot of really, really cheap, really, really bad, really, really crappy Baozong. Like a lot. And what they do is they just have a lower elevation garden. They just like literally take out a hose and spray fertilizers and pesticides all over the crap, and then it comes up and it tastes floral on the up front, and then if you're not careful, then the rest of your mouth and your body literally melts like bleach because they put so many chemicals on it, which is one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of Baozong, is because I hate sampling Bao songs because you drink a couple and then you drink one and you're just like bleach for me anyways. Like so much fertilizer and so much chemicals. I will stop now though because I don't want to get into trouble. Um, will you be getting the Hakka style teas back in stock? Uh, yes, I will be getting the Hakka teas back in stock. In fact, I have them in stock right now. I just haven't put them on, put them up for sale. I was going to save them because they don't go bad. They're just, I was going to save them for like, like I just try and do every 2 weeks. I release new teas. I was trying to save them for like a 2-week period where I didn't have any new teas. And then the earthquake happened. And then now they're just sitting on the shelf. So I'll try and, I'll try and do a good job and get them back up because they're amazing. They really are. Not the most pleasant teas, but certainly some of the most powerful. How can mixed tea with another drink mixed by with milk or alcohol? I'm sorry, my friend from Iran. I do not know how to mix tea with the milk or alcohol stuff. I basically I just do this. Just basically leaves. Find the best leaves, but there's tons of stuff out there. Right? There's lots of people who do that for sure. Thank you for sharing knowledge and such great tea. Well, thank you for the support and for watching. I really like sharing, and it's and all of that. Anyways, I got to go. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. Like I said, these teas will be for sale, I'm hoping, by Sunday. So these will be for sale by Sunday. And what else is going on? Oh, the Pear Mountain will be for sale on Sunday. The Nanhu Mountain will be for sale on Sunday. And I got to get Ali Shan going, and I should get those Hakka teas up as well. But anyways, thank you for watching. Wherever you are, anywhere in the world, I hope you have an amazing morning, night, evening, and all of that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.